3, 2, 1, go. Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
I don't know if I like that one. It sounded a little bit Jason Segel from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
When he was doing the vampire, the Dracula, Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Which I rewatched that movie. It held up.
It's good.
I mean, it is just over the top, unnecessarily. Like, I don't understand the male nudity thing. I don't understand like the female, like why Mila Kunis needs to be naked. Sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See her boobs. You see Siegel's penis.
So I'm thinking about it for
like
a second.
there's
There's his penis now.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with human nudity.
Well, he does the happy slap too, doesn't he?
What's up?
Doesn't he do the happy slap?
I don't know what that is. That like
when he's like he starts swinging back and forth.
Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't innately have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just don't see where it fits in the humor, in the structure of the humor that they're attempting to establish.
Yeah.
When it happens. And so it doesn't make the movie any worse. It's just, I was kind of like, I wonder, like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But as a movie,
like, would I have missed that if it wasn't in it?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Like, if I saw it on TNT, I don't think it degrades from the movie with that being taken out.
Yeah.
With it in it, fine. Like, it has its creative purposes. Yeah. What I will say is the Russell Brand character is so good. Like, they try to make him out like this villain. Yeah. And he's not. He's probably the most self-aware of all of them. Yeah. Other than the big guy, the big friend who
is it the bartender?
Maybe he's the bartender. Who actually protects Jason Segel when he goes to get his ass kicked by Mila Kunis's former boyfriend, surfer boyfriend. That's right. Which is hilarious. Accurate of Hawaii. A couple instances, like luckily
be pretty territorial.
Yeah. And I think it stems a little bit from Samoan culture, or it's its own Hawaiian culture. But in American Samoa, if you look at the certain mountain peaks, you look at the top of the mountain peak, you draw sort of like a pie, basically. Mm-hmm. So from the top of the mountain peak, nobody owns the top of the mountain peak. But as you come out, your swath of land is held by its maternally passed down. Okay. So the chief is usually the senior matron of the family. Mm-hmm. And then that swath of land extends to the beach and out to the coral line. Okay. That is owned, where Hawaii, it's all state beaches. Everything's public. So nobody, quote unquote, owns the beach, but people own certain portions and certain waves and certain breaks and stuff. But in Samoa, they definitely own it. So we were there doing an operation, and a couple of guys and I went, and we were like, oh God, we went out, caught a couple certain waves, whatever. We come back in, and there are two large men standing on the beach, and we're like, hi, and what are you guys doing here? And we're like, oh, we're with the Navy unit. And they go, okay, we thought so, come with us. And we're like, uh-oh. And the master chief I was with, he's like, let's just go. So we go and we meet the chief, and it was there was a bar and a restaurant. It's a beautiful place. Cool. She owned it. That, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't like they're wearing grass skirts and seashell bras and stuff. These are 21st century people with businesses and internet and like really good business owners, and they understand. And she's like,
you didn't run into like Moana's.
Exactly. They're extremely intelligent and functional people. Yeah. They run an island. They run their nation. Yeah. Well, sort of. They are a nation. They're a protectorate, U.S. protectorate. Yeah. So anyway, she explained all this to us. I'm like, that is freaking fascinating. She's like, oh yeah, it's how they've done ecological preservation. It's how they've brought certain areas of land back from the brink of just basically being over farmed. So as you move your way down the slope, you have palm plantations, banana plantations, pineapple plantations, depending on the elevation and kind of land.
Yeah.
So
The plantations.
plantains. Yeah, I like that. But so basically her area, her part of the island, which was huge, she was one of the biggest landowners on the island. She explained how they can sustain their family, and family is a loose term, but based on her geographical, they are self-sustaining. And then and there's this huge big open gazebo like park sort of thing, and every night they're supposed to, but not every night, but usually at least once or twice a week, they have a little hona, the family gathering in that spot, and they bring all the food and they eat, and they fix each other's houses with the palm fronds and and like the timber and stuff. And it's a whole really cool, little internal ecosystem. And then they meet quarterly with all the other chieftains on the island and stuff. So she knew exactly who we were and why we were there. And she just explained it, and she's like, you all are welcome, stay here, you can use our beach. And then she's like, and then Master Chief was like, hey, I'm looking to do my tattoo and some, and she was like, oh yeah, my cousin does traditional tattoos. And I was like, I want to get a tattoo too. And she's like, oh, okay, great. And that was at her location by her cousin, was the guy who did the tattoo that
that's awesome.
My right leg.
They did it was at the
Boris Tusk tap out. So all that to come back to their depiction of the Hawaiian surfing sort of tradition of like they will get right in your face, and they will have no problem punching you in the nose if you are disrespectful to their territory.
So when just curious, back to Samoa, when you pulled you in, was it like this guy saw you and it's like, was it kind of like hey, we know who you are, so it's cool, but you should know?
Yes.
Is that what that was?
And it was initially like, what are you guys doing? It would sort of be like if somebody was on your front lawn, doing something, you'd be like, hey, what's up? Now, there are people that will just pull a shotgun and shoot you in the face. Yeah. I would consider those people a little dysfunctional.
Sure.
They asked first. Yeah. They're very large human beings.
Yeah.
They can be rather imposing. And so it's sort of like, okay, how do I read this?
Yeah.
Being in the Navy, you go to a lot of different places in the world. Generally, you get more bees with sugar and honey.
Right.
So you start with like, hi, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. How are we doing? Because you also have the push comes to shove, something happens to us. Yeah. There's a big stick behind me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, as long as you make that clear, I don't need to,
because they probably knew, like they knew when you said who, you're like, oh, okay,
right.
Cool. No trouble here.
And there may be a delay in how long it takes for that big stick to hit the person in the face. And I might be gone, right? Yeah. Like if push comes to shove and it's a drop down gunfight and I'm out.
Yeah.
But be guaranteed the US is going to retaliate as long as I wasn't in the wrong or doing something illegal. You know what I mean? But like that, gets a little dark quickly.
Right.
Yeah, but the reality is, so
like this escalate from like I was surfing on a beach.
But if you think about it, like there are places where you're conducting operations or doing something, and maybe the exact paperwork wasn't filed through the defense attaché's office or something perfectly, and the local
government,
whatever, has a problem with it.
Yeah.
First words out of your mouth should be like, "Oh, hey, my fault. Right. What do we need to do to rectify this? How do we make sure that this doesn't happen again?"
Yeah.
You don't need to say you're sorry. You don't need to say whatever. And actually, and I screwed that up, the State Department people that I worked with from time to time, that's code for somebody else.
Right.
Said never apologize and never admit fault, but be willing to make reparations as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Because basically, we know we were wrong, but we don't want to make this a big issue, and we want to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So how do we do that?
Which is a good rule for life, I think, in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And 9 times out of 10, people will immediately be like, "Oh, great. Yes, because I have this bag of $100 bills. How many of those stacks of $100 bills do you need to forget that any of this happened?"
Yeah.
And people may be chuckling like that really happened.
That makes sense.
A couple times.
I bet. Yeah.
Right? Oh, I'm so sorry. My 50 caliber rounds entered your home, and there are no terrorists in your home.
Say, well, let me get your address so I can send you what's this?
$100 bills. How many of those is going to take?
I can't write on these. Do you want them?
Now, I'm not saying I luckily was never involved in a situation where there were loss of life in those situations.
Yeah.
Supposedly some woman lost her thumb. I still don't believe it.
Was it Joy? No, that was her pinky.
That was her pinky. That's her pinky. Yeah. There's no way that our 50 cal or Mark 19 rounds, not to mention we were being shot at with RPGs and other indirect fire. Yeah. So, hey, I'm sorry. All right. Like self-regulate your terrorists and your, insurgents.
Yeah.
Even if we might have created them from the beginning, whatever, but who's to say whose fault it was?
Decades in the making.
But there's no way that those things would have just taken your thumb, man.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sure. I think maybe that wound happened at some other point.
Yeah. Here's $100.
But it was. I mean, that's seriously when she came on the base and the colonel was like, "What have you guys done for reparations so far?" I listed out. He goes, "Why the fuck am I dealing with this? Like, how is this a problem?" And I'm like, "Sir, I'm just letting you know. I don't think anything needs to happen. I think she's just a squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
Give her a little bit more grease. I'm sure this will go away.
Yeah.
And will not turn into, an international incident. Not to mention, I've seen their house. We're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be just fine."
So yes, so you get more bees with honey.
Yeah.
And
Which I like when people say that. When people say something about like you get more flies with honey.
Oh, why would
you get more flies? Exactly. It's like, why would I want
bees.
flies? It's bees.
But that was all to say.
I don't want bees unless I'm trying to get bees.
True.
Like Mary.
Yeah. Go walk all the way back to your intro of Welcome to Grounds After Rounds. Sounded like Jason Segel doing Van Helsing from Forgetting Sarah.
Welcome to Grounds After Rounds.
That was a really long one. So there you go, folks.
That
was a long intro.
But that's cool. I like that story about Samoa because I know about like you. That was I'm sorry, what's it called again? The tattoo, and it's where they.
It's a series of boar's tusks of different structure and design that he would switch out to get whatever he was trying to do. I don't know. I mean, at one point I did put my earpods. I was listening to then an iPod, wasn't even these.
Right.
It's like one of those little
shuffle,
little iPod shuffle. On about 3 to 4 hours of music. I had a handful of music downloaded, and I listened to it and just had to zone out because it. Mother.
It's cool because I remember seeing that tattoo years ago, and you telling me about like what it was and like where you got it. But it's even cooler now. I even have more backstory as to like how it got
that was a great op.
Cool.
I mean, there was a World War II tanker that had been scuttled because it caught on fire, and so a lot of people died. The captain of it actually died because he kicked everybody off the ship, kept him and like 3 other dudes. They got it underway and then scuttled it. And it
what does scuttle mean?
Sunk it on purpose.
Okay.
Sunk it into the harbor because if it had caught on fire and exploded, it would have taken like every ship on the pier down and probably sunk the pier too. In 2008, 2007, maybe there was a tsunami that came through, and that earthquake, which caused the tsunami, shifted the vessel, now 70 years old and underwater, shifted it to the edge of the shelf that is like, it's about 190, just over 200. It was sitting at like 150, 160 feet of depth.
Okay.
There's a shelf that then goes to like 3,000 feet.
Oh, okay.
If it had gone over that shelf, it probably would have snapped in half, releasing hundreds of thousands of gallons of fuel oil into the pristine American Samoa Harbor. Yes. And so what our job was, we worked with Coast Guard, NOAA, and I forget who the third organization was, came in. They had a huge tanker with these like pontoons on it that were set up to pump the fuel from the vessel into those and then take it and dispose of it how they dispose of it correctly. Our team was tasked with doing what's called a hot tap. So basically you create a new valve that you can then attach that pump to. That is a relatively involved procedure because you're dealing with extremely corroded and tenuous steel at this point. And so, and it's at a depth that you have to do what's called surface decompression dives. So you go down, you're breathing helium and oxygen on, a tube going up, and you're working, and then you have to do about 2 to 3 hours of decompression couple water stops, and then you get up, and then you go right into the chamber, and then you sit in the chamber and decompress, so that you can stay about an hour or two at the bottom, and then do about 2 or 3 hours of decompression afterwards. So it was a very involved dive. It was super cool. Ton of great experience for our team and sailors that were doing it. And so as the XO, I got to go in at the beginning, brief the intro, leave, and then since I was already on that part of the world, bounced around to a bunch of other teams that were scattered about Vietnam, Hong Kong, Japan, South Korea, and then swooped back in there and did the out brief after it was over. And so that's when I did the tattoo.
Cool.
It was on the out brief.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool.
It was an amazing job. Yeah. It was absolutely phenomenal.
That's cool.
Super busy, but not like shoot, bang, bang busy. Yeah. Just like Navy busy.
Yeah. That's cool. Awesome. Learn a little bit something about you more every time I hang out with you.
There you go.
Speaking of which,
let's
learn some more about each other in a silly way.
10 for 10, right?
Keeping it light today. Yeah. I got 7. We'll find the last 3. But yeah, 10 for 10. So yeah, we're going to set a timer. I'm gonna ask these quick. They're just really random questions, so you get to know a little bit more about us. And
it's fine. Yeah, we're in our 5th year. We figured like, knowing this about us yet, like whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway. You are, my friend, are a deep pool of emotions, which often I like to swim in.
Oh. I don't swim in your toilet. Don't pee in my pool of emotions, okay?
That actually is pretty applicable. Quit peeing in my pool of emotions.
Yeah. One thing I told Summer the other day, you heard this, I told Summer the other day, or it was like yesterday. I was like, it's always better to be pissed off than pissed on. Am I right? And she goes, I've never heard that before.
I like that one. That's a good one.
All right. So we got group of random questions here. We're going to set a timer. Treat it like an hmmm. So there's going to be quick hits. Boom, boom. This is an espresso shot, by the way, if you're still with
haven't
us.
Figured it out.
Yeah, we're going to get through this.
Though neither of us are drinking coffee. I'm drinking tea.
Just coffee. I got coffee.
Okay.
I got coffee.
50% coffee.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Here we go. 10 seconds. It's going to count us down. You guys will be audible hearing of the beep, 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 because visual sucks on these phones.
Beep.
Oh, no, you can kind of see it right
now. Oh, yeah. There we go. Boom. Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
What's the dumbest way you've ever been hurt?
The dumbest way I've ever been hurt was I'd already messed up my knee pretty bad at various times. We were out at a bar.
Which knee, left knee, right knee?
Both now, but it was my right one. And we were I was kind of swing dancing, but not really swing dancing. And like very, very drunk. And I went to dip the girl that I was dancing with, and my knee completely buckled, fell. Glasses like fell on us, got cut. God. So not only now is my knee completely effed, but I'm like all cut up and whatever. And it was a bad situation.
Oh my God.
And I mean, super fun, but super dumb, and had to like deal with some pretty bad fallout the next day, that Monday when I went back to work.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
I'll do it. Good one.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
There we go. All right, next one up. 2, 1.
Are you gonna? You gotta answer some of these though.
I'll get to it.
All right.
If there's time.
All right.
Greatest kitchen mistake you've ever made?
The chili that I make now. First time I made it, Sasebo, Japan.
So we're saying this is a good mistake.
Yeah, it's just the greatest kitchen mistake, right?
Oh, I thought greatest on like but this is good because I like what you're thinking, because I'm thinking like on a like greatest like on the scale of the size of the mistake you made.
I got
greatest.
No, I looked at it like there was a great fallout, the beneficial fallout.
I like this.
I now make I think a pretty
more
good.
People should think like that.
I think it was a pretty good chili.
Yeah.
But the first time we made it was as junior officers on the ship I had to be on. In Sasebo, Japan, the minesweeper. I got tasked because I showed up and I was the most junior JO and I had no real job. So there was a chili cook-off contest on the base and the CO was like, that's going to be your job for the week. You need to make chili. Completely did not prepare for it. Night before, have nothing. I got beanie weenies, a case of beer, and a large onion and some Tabasco sauce. And that was the chili I made.
That's awesome.
Was awarded worst chili, which got me a crock pot and a packet of like hot ass chili and like the thing. And so all I did was take that recipe and sort of modify it over the years, and now I have my chili.
That's awesome.
And I had that crock pot forever until I broke it like 3 or 4. I actually cried. I didn't actually cry, but I felt
it was an emotional like
this is my crock pot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, cool.
We'll let that one ran long. It happens on hmomms. Hey,
Yeah.
so you take the next minute off,
Yeah.
recover,
and
and then
we'll be
continue.
good to go. Cool. Let's give it 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll say real quick, 20 seconds. Mine was my greatest and on like scale. I decided to try to surprise mom one day when we were little and make peanut butter cookies. And I forgot though that they were in the oven. They burned, caught on fire, smoke everywhere. Mom comes home, sees smoke everywhere. So luckily we got it out, but the whole house smelled like peanut butter cookies for like months, and it made mom like nauseous.
Oh,
So
that is.
I love the smell.
That
She did
is
not so
great.
much. Okay. Speaking of food, what food do you refuse to share?
Food.
Food in general. Food in general.
Doesn't share
Don't
food.
ask Jack for food.
Look,
He'll spit on you. Got it.
I'll share it, I guess. But if you wanted it, order it.
I'll share it if I'll share it if it's like this is so good. You need to try a bite of this.
Right.
I'm not sharing my meal with you.
No.
This is not a halvesies.
No.
You can have a taste.
And again, like
First
I'm
taste is
not
free.
opposed to if that's the plan going in.
Right.
But like inevitably you're gonna ask for a bite.
Yeah.
When I have saved like the last grand finale, I've like portioned it out, and now I have the last bite, and that's the one somebody's gonna ask for.
Yep.
Get the
Walk away. Walk away. It's talking about, so now here's a scenario. So talking about sharing food. If there was one piece of cake left, who do you share it with?
Well, that's actually, it's kind of, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's easy. Nicole doesn't like cake, so
yeah,
I get a pass.
She's one of those. Huh?
Yeah, I get a pass on that. That would be like, well, it's easy for me. Probably one of the dogs.
When you make
I would cut it in
when
half.
you make a death by chocolate, award-winning death by chocolate dessert,
Yeah.
you don't need cake.
Very true.
Yeah.
But that's, I would right, because people are going to be it's too hard to choose between people.
Yeah.
And so I would cut that bitch in half, give a little bit to Violet, a little bit to Charlie.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like no judgment, super easy, so simple, right? They're going to forget it in a second anyway and be like, did you give me cake?
Yeah.
Next person, you're going to get judged.
Yeah.
Is that all you're going to give me? Right. So
Yeah.
it's easier. It's lighter. It's simpler.
Perfect.
Give it to the dogs.
If you had a yacht, what would you name it?
That's easy. I'd cheat
So
on
you
this.
probably
one.
thought about
Yeah.
this. Yeah. That's why
Promising Skies.
Promising Skies.
Yeah, that's the name. I had a frame actually with that engraved on it from somebody gave it to me. Because if I ever owned a sailboat, that's what it was. I was on a midshipman cruise on a sailboat, and we had weathered a really tough storm. I mean, like what's that movie with Jeff Bridges?
The Perfect Storm.
No, it was something where they all lived.
Forgetting Sarah
Gray, something. Anyway, they're out on a sailboat, and it's like a boys, like it's like teaching boys to become men type of movie.
Yes.
And they make it through. That's what it was like. I felt like, how is this legal? Like, how does the Naval Academy know that we're out here? This is really freaking dangerous.
Yeah.
And even the next morning, the guy was like, I got a little hairy. And he was like a sailor.
Yeah.
So when the sun was coming up and the skies were bright, I was like, look like Promising Skies. And the guy goes, that'd be a good name for a boat. And I was like, that's mine. That's mine. That's gonna be the name of my boat.
Call dibs. I got dibs. Perfect. Nice. What are childish acts that you still enjoy doing?
This is fun to say again.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody knows what's coming.
Let's go.
I mean, how can you not? I mean, you fart, you smell it. It's funny. We all laugh. I mean, people are chuckling right now.
Farts are funny.
Farts are funny, people.
What's this? You all are just giggling right now. Look at this guy. Looks like Charlie right now.
Yeah.
my gosh.
Smell your own farts. I mean, geez, come on.
Oh my god.
Live a little bit.
Yeah, let's live a little bit. Poops and farts.
Yeah.
That's actually a lot of Fee's jokes right now are like, why did the poo poo pee pee poo 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 pee pee?
Poo.
I'm like, I don't know, Fee. She goes, to go to the movies. I'm like, you don't get jokes, do you?
She's working on the structure.
She's
right
getting
now.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Content will come.
Yeah, I set a pretty high standard when it comes to jokes.
I would agree. Very true.
This one, I think we're gonna lose on the audio listeners, but we'll see. It'll be a little bit of both. What would your reaction be if you saw a ghost?
Is that a ghost?
You need bifocals? Is your ghost out of focus? Was an out of focus ghost floating around?
Golly, because I'm waking up. I'm like, what is that?
There you go.
Ghosts don't scare me. I don't think, and even in like, oh, well,
I feel like your standard ghost,
Whew.
right?
Not true. Sixth Sense, the movie The Sixth Sense, holy shit bomb, scared the crap out of me. But I think it was more
Some of
because
those
Haley Joel Osment was just so good
Yeah.
at it. But and the reaching of his legs under the bed by the girl, like that was just such a get you movie.
Right. I feel like again, ghost is so broad. Like
Right.
Casper showed up, and you're like, oh.
But generally, no. Like, but because I don't know, I feel like ghosts, they're trying to tell you something. So
Right.
yeah.
Like goes away. I don't know, it's bad. All right. Or clean your laundry. Easy one. What is your most favorite day of the week? Most favorite day of the week.
Favorite day of the week. It ebbs and flows. Worst day of the week used to be Sundays, but that has since changed because of the nature of what we do now. Like, we don't live the 7-day week anymore, which is kind of nice. Highly recommend it, folks. Get yourself off that treadmill. There ain't no end in sight.
Nope.
So, I mean, I could lie and be like, Mondays, I love Mondays. I kick the week off, right? Like that Hitch movie. Bullshit. Nobody likes Mondays. I don't know, Friday. It's such a cool, like, it's great. Like you've made it, whatever. So I like Fridays. Yeah.
Friday's a good one.
I feel like there's something to it. I've accomplished something.
So I like Thursday because it's like, because I know Friday is that like accomplished day. Thursday's like, we're here. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fun of like,
it's I'm next. Yeah. Friday is tomorrow. I'm next.
Right.
Next in line is the best place. It's a Jerry Seinfeld skit.
That's a good, That's kind of sometimes what it feels like.
Sometimes totally. I even let somebody behind me go in front of me because be like, I want to be next again.
Yes.
You go ahead. I'm going to stay here at next.
Okay.
We ran long on that one. Let's say, but this is it. This is the last minute.
We have, that's right. We have a cash out.
Oh, good point.
We'll
all
cash
right.
out. Yeah.
Just in case you were wondering, folks, as a coach, that's how you cheat when you screw up. Be like, ooh, I was too fast in that class. Cash out. Oh, shoot. Perfect. We meant to do good mornings today. So, all right, let's make it.
So we have 2 left.
We'll make it a, because you still have time. We'll make it a 5-minute cash out. Doesn't mean we have to use the 5 minutes.
Okay.
But in those 5 minutes, we have to answer 2 questions.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Okay. Where's the one?
Holding.
What sound do you hate? What is the sound that you're just like,
it is Violet barking at people when they come to the door. Oh my God. That is it. Like it goes right through my spine. Yeah. Absolutely hate it. And I thought we've gotten her out of it, but it's gotten worse again. Like, absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one. I'll say this is one I was thinking about recently because my dad used to do it. It was a
cracking knuckles.
No,
no, not at all.
It's all right. It's time for us to get up in the morning, and we're still laying in bed. And he's come in several times to wake us up, and we're not waking up. And he would come in and he would do this thing where he'd be like, hopefully I can do it justice. He'd go, dee, 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 and he would just keep doing that. And like right now, it's like triggering. And I hadn't thought about it in a long time. And he would come in and just start doing that. And we're like, oh my God, like get out. Sure enough, he would do that until we actually got out of bed.
Mission accomplished.
It's like I think my sister did that the other day, and Steve and I were both like, oh my God. So that is one that just like drove us nuts.
That's a good one.
What a jerk.
Good memory. All right, good memory. See, that was serious. That's awesome.
Gosh.
Dude. You're awesome.
Has anyone ever tried to kill you, Jack?
Not personally. You know what I mean? Like never.
It was in the job description at the
right. I can't really hold the person accountable. I mean, I can. You can. We internationally held people accountable for it, but no, never like Jack Ryan is who they were trying to come kill, unless they had read a Tom Clancy novel and got confused. So no. But yes, but no.
No, but yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Was that it, or was that sort of a?
That was just kind of like I thought it was a funny one to ask you. I like this one, and so I'm going to preface this though with like, we love our families and we're happy with our families.
Oh,
and there's nobody else we want to be with, but
treading lightly.
If you could be a part of another family, whose family would it be?
Whew, that's really hard.
Yeah. Childish. That's what she said. Okay. That's the thing I like to do.
I like that you prefaced it with childish. That's what she said.
Yeah, we got about
it's a trigger
2+ minutes here.
You know, it's a cop out. There isn't any, because in the end, like, I really there's at the beginning of Anna Karenina, Tolstoy's novel, greatest novel of all time, supposedly, which I think I would agree it is. All happy families are the same. All unhappy families are unhappy in their own unique way. And so the trend, or like the tendency would be like, oh, I'm gonna pick a happy family that looks happy on the surface, like the Kardashians, or something, right? Like all of that idea. It's an illusion. Happiness is the illusion. There are no happy families because everybody is unhappy in their own unique way. And that's what makes it special. And that's the sense of like, don't strive for happiness. So like that, you know what I mean? Like that's the cop out. But that line, I mean, we came back to it multiple times when we taught the text, and I still come back to it. It is one of the greatest opening lines of any novel, which innately makes it one of the greatest novels of all time.
Call Me Ahab.
Yeah.
Or is that it?
Yeah. That's yeah. I don't know if that's the first line in Moby Dick, but that is
something like that, yeah.
That I stand with that. Like, places don't matter, things don't matter, the people matter, and so it doesn't matter. Like you make the people around you your family, and you make it worth it, and that's so it's a cop-out answer.
But you did exactly what I expected you to do when I asked that, because it's like, because I knew you'd take deep, because it's like you can be like the Tanner family on Full House, like look how happy and loving
I didn't
they
know
are.
that was an option. I didn't know fictional families were an option.
But they of course have their struggles.
I thought you meant real families.
So basically, I would have accepted two answers. A, the one where you went, we're really like, what's perfect family? Or B, Snyder Coleman family. Because they're just so darn cool.
That is very true. And I would get to live in that room upstairs above the garage and kick out and Rob out. Like, yeah, definitely. Snyder.
Can I come
the
over?
Snowmans. Damn it. Yes, the Snowmans.
So two acceptable answers. You went the other way.
I went the other way.
Awesome.
That was awesome, dude.
That's good.
Good questions. Good questions.
That's a good one to end on. I like that. Awesome.
How amazing. So my gratitude. Here's my gratitude.
I think we're on the same page.
And you asked about what song I would or band I would only ever listen to. That didn't make.
Oh, that popped up, but yeah.
Probably Foo Fighters, because I'd be able to hang out with Andy whenever I'd want to.
Yeah.
But so we squatted in his gym on Thursday, in his garage on Thursday. We did the squats, we chatted. He had his YouTube set up, and we were listening to a bunch of Foo Fighters. And that's sort of what drove me to find that Dave Grohl clip of him on the Kilborn show, Late Night with Craig Kilborn, from like 2007 or whatever. It's like baby Dave Grohl. That clip, and he's my gratitude for this week. Just, if you look at him as an artist, as a performer, as sort of just a personality, but then also just as a dude, like he's hilarious. And he wanted like all of that, I think, and maybe it's just his talent, is just the authenticity of it.
Yeah.
I bet you he didn't rehearse. The fact that the lines were on a teleprompter, and like, so he didn't even know the lines really, like he knew them, but didn't know them. And he says why he wanted to do this, because he just wanted to replicate the scene from the bus in that Almost Famous movie. Like, I know that scene. I love that scene. That's so true. And he's chewing gum the whole time. He's singing better than almost anybody in the world, doing Elton John's Tiny Dancer, which is an amazing song. And he's doing it Dave Grohl style, and he's chewing gum the whole time. And I'm like, this is amazing. And then that led down. I was like, okay, it all has to be pre-2010 clips of artists of that time frame, doing covers of not their songs. And so there was, I took some leeway later in the week. People sing. But so we had him, we had Pink, we got Chris Cornell.
515 didn't notice.
What's that?
We take leeway later in the week. 515 doesn't notice.
Very true. a little allusion back to
summer.
Yeah, back to their
here every day.
Yeah. But that aspect of his talent is my gratitude, because also if you watch the film of him creating, I forget, Drew, it's on YouTube, but he basically learned how to play a bunch of different instruments and then made an album or something. I forget exactly what he did. It's not on accident. That dude practices. He has innate talent, clearly. You know what I mean? Like, he's a musician and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But he is as good as he is because he practices.
Put in the work,
And so that's that, like, you can have a skill and you can have a talent, but you're always going to be, chasing something if you don't put in the 10,000 hours. Though I'm not sure if that is still true as a theory or whatever, but good enough. It's, we all understand what I'm talking about. That's my gratitude, is a reminder of like, oh, right, I can be good at something, but if I want to be great at something, I got to take what I'm good at and really freaking lean in, really lean in, and not lean in to be great at it. Lean in because the leaning in is the thing. That's the process. And then one day I'll be on a stage, strumming my guitar, chewing my gum, and I'm working on the hair. I got the hair first.
Have you ever seen the clip of him? He was doing an interview and he was talking about when Christopher Walken was on SNL.
No.
And
does he do a Christopher Walken?
He does a great Christopher Walken.
Damn it, I gotta find that.
You gotta find it. But he was talking about how like Christopher Walken asked him, like, where do you put the emphasis? Is it on foo or on fighters? And so he tells him what he did and then talks. So I don't want to spoil it. Watch the video. So watch basically Dave Grohl doing
Christopher Walken.
It's good.
Talking about where the emphasis goes for Foo Fighters.
Yeah, and he does a good Christopher Walken impression.
All right, you got 5 minutes to be home. What do you got?
My gratitude. I had one. You know what? It was all the people at Cookout. Cookout was awesome.
Cool.
Party was awesome. I was glad all the people that showed up, all the people that put food in. I only got to taste some of it because it was one of those things that, like, we were so busy like doing stuff, and I went and I was like, oh no, it's all gone. That's why I went in early. I went as soon as it arrived. And that's what people were like, why are you doing? I'm like, no. I got to make sure it's not poison. Joe was so funny though. Joe said to me, he's like, you got to try this. I was like, yeah, like I'll definitely get it. He goes, no, try it. I was like, yeah, I'll get that. He goes, no. And he gets a fork and he takes it here. He's like, here, try this. It was like, worth it. Damn, that was good. It was so good. So good that short ribs were confused as brisket. And that's, and it's so funny. He knew he was going to win because he was so proud of himself that when he pulled it out of the pot or whatever he cooked it in, it fell off the bone. And he's like, oh, that's going to be good. Well done, sir. Yeah. Well done. Happy birthday, and congratulations. Yeah, there you go. So, good party. Thanks, everyone. All right. Well done. Cool. Little espresso shot coming your way here this week. Well, it's already there. It's already here. You're in it. It's Friday. It's your favorite day. That's why Friday's my favorite day. It's the day we release Grounds After Rounds. There it is. Nice. We'll see you on the creek.